Hi guys! So, you're thinking of buying a snake. First thing you must anticipate is having the terrarium ready for your new animal. The terrarium or the rack, such as this one, with the substrate, the water, and especially the temperature control already set and stable. In my case, I have one rack with room for 8 snakes, and I have 2 terrariums, and they are all set just the way I wish them to be, with the hot zone over here and the cold zone over there. After that, the best advice I can give to you is to choose the snake that you like. Especially if you're a beginner, go with a cool morph that has nice patterns and colors that you like. But if you're in a more intermediate or advanced level, you know you're going to go with the morph itself. Maybe you want to breed the snake to another one that you have some sort of project going on. So my best advice is to buy the snake that you really like I did with this one. This little bugger here, I just lost my head when I saw it, and it was way too more expensive for what it's worth. This is my female Super Pastel ball python, and I think it's just a beauty. It's been around for a couple of decades, but I love the colors on it. You always have a lot of options to choose from. You can choose to buy a colubrid. The corn snakes are very easy to keep, they're fairly cheap, and also the king snakes, they are a bit more difficult to handle comparatively to the corn snakes, but they're fairly easy to keep and to breed. Or you can go with the pythons. The ball pythons are quite affordable. They might be a bit difficult, the young ones a bit difficult to get them to eat frozen thawed, but they got pretty cool morphs, and they are the most popular python out there in the market. You can also choose to go with green tree pythons, carpet pythons, boas, blood pythons, even venomous snakes, but I don't advise that. That's my preference, to keep myself with in the line of the constrictors. Another thing that is very important is to trust the person that is going to sell you the snake. Either it is a reptile shop or a private breeder or even in a reptile expo. You should do some research, you should get acquainted with the personnel on the shop, get to know their reputation, or the private breeder, read the reviews on the social networks. If it is a reptile expo, in that case there are some pros and cons. The price might not be the most competitive, but you can inspect the snake, such as in the shop. You can ask to hold the snake, you can check for how the health of the snake is doing, you can ask questions, how it is feeding, what is the weight, the age, etc. If it is a private breeder and the snake, in this case such as ball pythons, if they are sent to you by mail, it is very important for you to trust the breeder, and as soon as you get the package, to do an inspection of the animal and send the feedback to the person who sold you the snake. When you buy your new pet, you might choose to get a hatchling, a little snake, maybe right out of the egg. That's not very advisable. Ask the seller if it had 3 or 4 or 5, 6 meals already in a row, depends with the criterion of the seller. But if the little one is already eating well, you might choose a juvenile or an adult ball python. And in this case I got one hatchling to half between 2 young ones and 2 juveniles, such as this one. This is my juvenile cinnamon ball python. She's around 1 year old and she's about 1 kilogram, so she's still young to breed. I'll wait a few more months, and it's also good if you're a more experienced breeder and you want to get advanced with your projects. You buy a full grown and proven breeder ball python, and you know that gonna be giving you viable clutches in the near future. So this leads us to some questions we can ask the breeder or the seller that regarding the snake. What is the age of the snake we're getting? What is the morph? What is the weight? Did it live in a rack? Did it live in a terrarium? We do not want to stress the animal too much when transferring it from its previous home to your new home, and as they might go off feeding or they get stressed, and you can observe it, the snake might get stressed and not feed as regularly as it used to be. You can also ask for the documentation of the snake. Who were the parents, the morphs, in terms of quality and traceability. That's always good, having the documentation not just of the animal but also the seller, either in a reptile expo or even if a friend or a friend of a friend or in some website or some social network, for you to have the contacts of the breeder, not just the website, but please get the email, get the phone number. I'm not saying get the address, don't come and stalk other people. But to know as much as you can, where they are from. They might be from another town, another country, so as much as you can know about your breeder, the breeder of the snake or the seller of the snake, the better it is. If it is a store, you know they're gonna be there, they're not gonna just bankrupt and move to close doors and move to another place. You always know that they are in business in that place, so that is a bit more secure. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, you should inspect the snake. Besides asking as many questions as you can, ask if the snake, what's wrong with its eyes. Now it's just in blue, as this little bugger here, just going for a shed in a few more days. There's nothing wrong with it. As you can see, you should ask the breeder to sex the snake if you don't know how to do it yourself, so you know if it's a boy or a girl, so you don't mix two girls or two boys in in your breeding project. That wouldn't go very well. You wouldn't get eggs. But as in terms of inspection, check if the snake is hydrated. Check the normal, the general condition of the snake. If it's not too skinny, if it's not too fat, if just grope it, feel the snake all around, all across its body. Check if it has kinks, little deformities. Also check for mites. So these are not mites, these are just specks, the normal specks of the morph. This is my it's very light colored. This is my male Enchifire. And also check for our eyes. Check for the mouth of the snake, if it's not too frequently opened, if it does not have little bits of foam on the corner, if the tongue is flickering well, if it's by the beefy tongue you can see the two tips and it's not just one together, so that's one of the signs of RI. Even you can try and listen to the breathing of the snake. If you hear something that is not normal, you can ask the breeder what's wrong with it. If they get a bit dodgy on the answers, then it's up to you to judge what you want to do. Maybe you want to save the snake, but probably it's better not to trust that breeder or the person in that store and try to get another one. In my case, I've been a bit lucky. I don't always do what I preach, but I do minimum observation of the animals when I'm acquiring them, and I learn to trust the people I buy them from. In this case, a couple stores and a private seller that I have a pretty good relation with. So in that case, I trust her very much, and she has a very good collection, but that's another story. So you just acquired your snake. If it is the first snake Remember guys that they will need to eat after resting a couple of days in their new environment. They might get hungry, and so you should have some food for them, ready for them. If they are eating frozen thawed, so that is easy, alright. If they are if they are young, or for some other reason they are still eating live rodents, have one or two ready for them to eat. And if they do, that's a good sign. They're in a new environment, a new home, and they are feeling confident enough to eat. You might be more experienced and try to get them to go from live rodent into frozen thawed with freshly killed rodents, but that is a story for another video. So these are my advices for getting a new ball python. In this case I'm in the ball python business, but generally speaking, getting a new snake, do basically trust the person you're buying the snake from, get the snake that you like, that you want, and inspect it to see if it is a good quality animal, and pretty much that's it. Enjoy the hobby. See you guys.